Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Pokemon fans of the world, MegaCrasher is here, or should I say, the crazy shirtless maniac with the crazy hair. MegaCrasher is here because, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is going to be another MegaCrasher's crazy Pokemon Sun and Moon Pokemon review / Movesets videos. Try saying all that in one breath. Holy shit. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you guys a very special episode because this features the shirtless maniac MegaCrasher, and this episode is going to be very fitting because we are going to be reviewing and breaking down the final evolution of the fire starter Pokemon Incineroar. And like me, this Wildcat is big into wrestling. So the first thing we're going to be talking about are the very basics of what you need to know of this Pokemon, that being the typing, abilities, stats, and what it's weak and strong against. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started! Woo! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is the typing. I am so pumped that this is a fire dark typing because this is only the second ever Pokemon to possess this rare and coveted typing. The first being Houndoom, but this being fire dark as a final typing for a final starter evolution is a very fresh and revitalizing typing, because you have a very, very unique set of strengths and resistances as well as flaws and weaknesses, which we will get into shortly. The first ability that it has is Blaze, which is a pretty standard ability amongst the fire type starters, and it's not that bad of an ability either, because check me out on this, baby. If your health is to be knocked down to around a third or below of your maximum health, your fire type moves get a huge boost by 50%. That means that this right here could essentially turn the tide in battle. However, it has a pretty solid as hell hidden ability known as Intimidate, baby. And what Intimidate does is it lowers the opponent's attack by 1 stage. And ladies and gentlemen, I just gotta say, that ability is sexy as hell because this ability goes hand to hand with its stat, which I'll be talking about right now, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at these amazing stats. Aren't they glorious? Glorious! That right there is reference to a WWE theme song for Bobby Roode, and WWE also goes hand in hand with Incineroar since they both have to do with wrestling. As a matter of fact, I have decided Incineroar's theme song is going to be Glorious, which is technically Bobby Roode's theme song, but I don't care, man. Incineroar is where it's at, man. He's a cool cat. But we take a look at the stats right here, man. Makes this Pokemon even that much more cooler, even though it's red hot in combat. We have 95 on the HP, coupled with 90 defense and 90 special defense, making this Pokemon sensationally bulky for it being a physical attacker with base 115 attack, man. That is absolutely ridiculous, and that is really solid for a Pokemon that has relatively well-balanced stats for the most part. And I say for the most part because base 60 speed, I mean, it's like, I mean, it's not really that bad, but it's not that good. However, you do have a couple ways to somewhat mitigate its rather low speed. And we also have its base 80 special attack, which is like, it's not that bad, but compared to its base 115 attack, it's not that good. However, I do have a way where you can utilize that special attack, baby! So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to move on to its strengths and weaknesses! Woo! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so let's go ahead and take a look at Incineroar's very unique typing, strengths, and weaknesses. So we first take a look at what it's weak against. Okay, so it has a weakness to the likes of fighting, ground, rock, and water, which also in translation means that it's going to be weak to stealth rocks, which kind of sucks and kind of would inhibit Incineroar's ability to stay in battle just a little bit. But the thing of it is, there is also such a thing as called hazards control, which means that if you do not have hazards on the field, then Incineroar is good to roar, baby! And we also take a look at its resistances and immunity. Because of its dark typing, it has an immunity to psychic, which is sexy! Woo! And we also take a look at the resistances. It has a resistance to the likes of Ghost, Steel, Fire, Grass, Ice, and Dark! And I just gotta say, those are very, very amazing resistances and immunities right there. You have a lot of switching potential with that amount of resistances, man. I just gotta say that this typing impresses the hell out of me because this suits Incineroar to a T, man. I mean, this Pokemon, Fire and Dark. I mean, with it being a wrestling type of Pokemon, you'd expect it to be fire and fighting, but the Dark typing fits it very well because of its heal persona. So, with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, and out of the way, it is now time to crank it up, and let's check out some movesets that Incineroar can make use of in battle! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so now it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of the video with some movesets that I have for you guys on how you can use Incineroar to the best of its competitive abilities. Now, of course, these sets are just my opinion and my opinion alone, so if you guys have any suggestions as to what sort of sets would fit Incineroar just as good, then please feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's start things out in a bit of a different way with Incineroar and how to use Incineroar with a defensive set. Now, you're probably thinking, whoa, Mega Crasher, hang on a second, man. This ain't no Land or Asterian, man. How can this work? Whoa. Contrary to that, my friend, I definitely think that this can work out and definitely be a lower tier version of Land or Asterian, because check this out. We have leftovers for recovery at the end of each turn. It heals 6% of your health at the end of each turn, which can definitely help out in a pinch if it comes down to it. Up next, we have Intimidate as an ability that, like Land or Asterian, this ability lowers your attack stat by 1 stage, and the fact that Incineroar has access to this ability makes this Pokemon more defensively capable in battle, in my opinion. Now, the first move that we have is a very spammable move in Darkest Lariat. It's a base 85 Dark-type move that hits for physical damage, and it ignores stat changes, which means it doesn't care if you set up to +6 for your bulk ups or iron defenses. It's gonna hit right through your stats anyways, man, because that's what Incineroar does. It doesn't care about that shit, man. Up next, we have Will-O-Wisp. A move that would absolutely make Land or Asterian broken if it had access to that move, but thank God it doesn't, but Incineroar does, which means that not only does it allow for you to status your opponent with a burn and inflict residual damage at the end of each turn, but it also cuts the attack stat in half, which means that this Pokemon is going to be even more physically annoying to deal with. Now, up next, I decided to put U-Turn, making this Pokemon a relatively slow, bulky pivot. That way, when you're outsped and you tank up a hit, you can simply go for U-Turn, get some chip damage off, and switch in a Pokemon safely to be able to have an advantage in battle. Now, the last move is really up to you. I decided to put Taunt in as the last move, so that way you can shut down slower, bulkier Pokemon that try to set up any hazards or any sort of stats on you. And Taunt will basically just completely shit all over them, right? Like Ferrothorn. I mean, Ferrothorn can't do anything to Incineroar, man. It can't do a thing to Incineroar. Same with the likes of Skarmory, although Skarmory is naturally faster than Incineroar. So, we go over the stats right here. I mean, you can feel free to tweak up the stats a little bit. I mean, I like to run my Pokemon like Incineroar really bulky and really slow. That way, I can get off slow U-turns and have more of an advantage in battle. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves 248 EVs into the HP, and the reason for that is to have an odd HP number, so that way you'll have more Stealth Rock and Hazard Switch-ins. 252 on the defense and 8 into speed. Now, of course, the suggested spread means that you can run specially defensive too, so something like that. Just kind of play around with the EVs a little bit, see which Pokemon needs to fill what role in battle, and Incineroar can do both because of the fact that Intimidate allows for it to have good natural bulk with an ability to back up its natural bulk even further, and you could also cut the opponent's attack stat in half, giving you a pseudo defense boost. So, I mean, it could actually work out if you go fully special defensive as well, but, I mean, if you want to make it mixed and go for something like this, I don't even know, just play around with the EV spread a little bit, and you'll be able to figure something out that will make it work for Incineroar and for your team. So the next set I have for you guys is going to be just a straight up hit as hard as you can kind of set with Incineroar. We have a Choice Band set, and Choice Band Incineroar kind of screws things up. It kind of just wrecks, you know what I'm saying? Choice Band, although it locks you into one move, it boosts the percentage of your attack stat by 1 stage, which is ridiculously crazy. Now, I decided to go for Blaze for a more offensive-oriented kind of set here, which means that when this Pokemon has 1/3 or less of its maximum HP, its Fire-type attacks will do 50% more damage. So that means Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz is going to do a crazy amount of damage. That thing is going to be ridiculously powerful. Now, of course, that is not the only move that you can use for Incineroar. You can also use Darkest Lariat, which complements its Dark-type stab, and it's also very spammable, too. You can also run something like Earthquake to be able to hit Pokemon that wouldn't be able to take that much damage from the likes of Flare Blitz and Darkest Lariat, although you can use something like Cross Chop or Hammer Arm if it has that. Let's see if it does have Hammer Arm. Let's see. Oh, I guess it doesn't. So, you could run something like Cross Chop, which will deal fighting-type damage. And we also have U-Turn, so that way, like the bulky defensive set, this will allow for you to get a little more momentum for your team. And it also is going to hurt a little bit more because this is going to be backed up by Choice Band as well as maximum attack investment. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are making this thing so bulky and so dangerous. Oh my god. This thing is going to be crazy good. And the thing of it is, yes, we run a bulky band. Max attack, max HP with 4 into special defense. Now, and this right here is a suggestion, you can run Assault Vest, which locks you into attacking moves only, but boosts your special defense by 50%. And you can even go as far as to be extra annoying and run Intimidate, which means that you're going to be getting a pseudo defense boost as well as a special defense boost backed up with an Assault Vest. So, I mean, this Pokemon is going to be a really, really bulky attacker, whichever way you splice it. Now, of course, that right there is just another example of how you can run Incineroar. We take a look at the next set right here. This set right here is going to be focusing on its special attack, okay? Base 80 special attack is not really something to laugh at. I mean, base 80 special attack may not be as good as base 115 attack comparatively, but check this shit out, man. Check this out. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is the item. We're going to be going for Life Orb, which allows for you to have more freedom to switch in between moves. Gives you a 30% boost on the power of your moves at the cost of 10% of your health. We are going to be going for Intimidate here in this situation. Or you could go for something like Blaze to be able to maximize the power of your fire type attacks when you are in a pinch, such as if you are at below 33% of your health. Now, get a load of this. This thing has access to Nasty Plot. This Pokemon has access to Nasty Plot. I mean, it shouldn't surprise me too much, considering this thing is a heal, it is a bad guy, it's meant to be evil. But my god, having access to Nasty Plot boosts your special attack setup by 2 stages. That is insane. And then we take a look at Fire Blast. Base 110 power, 85% accuracy, 10% chance to burn. That's insane right there. And then we take a look at Dark Pulse. It's this very solid base 80 dark type move with a 20% chance to flinch. And then we take a look at the last move, Hidden Power Grass. So that means all them water type switch-ins and all them ground type switches that think that they can go ahead and just switch in and tank up a hit, well, they're going to have to contend to a potential +2 Hidden Power Grass. And their ass is gonna be grass. Thanks to Hidden Power Grass, man. And then we take a look at the EV spread. A very straightforward spread that we got going on here. We have ourselves a Timid Nature to maximize its speed. And we're gonna be running Hidden Power Grass IVs. Now, of course, I'm also aware of the fact that because of the mechanics of hyper training, this here, in theory, actually allows for you to have all 31s in your base stats while still maintaining your hidden power kind of attack. So you could actually run all 31s here with the exception of attack since we're not using it. So like you take a look at these stats right here, these are actually deceptively good once you start getting some boosts in and things like that. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at the next set that we got going on here. This is meant to be a very fast, hard-hitting Choice Scarf user. Now, this is going to be like the Choice Band or / Assault Vest kind of variant, except this right here is meant to be fast and very hard-hitting. Of course, with the fact that it doesn't have Choice Band and it doesn't have an Adamant nature, you won't be hitting as hard, but still, with maximum attack investment. And yeah, like that's kind of a scary stat right there. And of course, 240 speed with a Choice Scarf allows for you to hit 360 speed, which can be deceptively fast and can make it work definitely. Now, the ability for choice, you can either go for Intimidate or you can go for Blaze. If you're looking for more annoyance and you want to annoy the shit out of your opponents as well as be able to maintain a little bit of your bulky aspect of that Pokemon, you can go for Intimidate, or if you want just straight up raw, unmitigated power when it comes to fire-type moves, well then Blaze is going to be the ability for you. So we take a look at the first move. These movesets are exactly the same as the Choice Band / Assault Vest one. We have ourselves Flare Blitz for fire-type stab, Darkest Lariat for dark-type stab, U-turn for momentum / pivoting, as well as Earthquake to just be able to decimate everything that resists the rest of these moves. And then we take a look at the EV spread. Very simple, very straightforward. We have ourselves a Jolly Nature to be able to maximize your potential for speed. We have max attack, max speed, 4 into special defense. You're good to go, baby. Whoa! And next up, ladies and gentlemen, we happen to have ourselves a bulky setup set. Well, it's not so much bulky, but this set will kind of make you more annoying and more difficult to take down. So check me out on this. Okay, so we have ourselves Life Orb, which allows for us to have freedom of choice to be able to switch between moves, and also will be able to boost the power of your moves by 30% at the cost of 10% of your health. We're going to be going with Intimidate here in this situation here, so that way you're more physically bulky. That way you're lowering the opponent's attack stat, and they'll have a harder time taking you down on the physical side. The first move that we got is going to be Swords Dance. My god! Is there anything this Pokemon can't do? Like, it has Nasty Plot to set up for special attacks. It has Swords Dance to set up for physical, man. Like, this is just crazy. So, this right here is going to up your attack stat by 2 stages just in 1 turn. Whoop! That's it. And then we have Flame Charge. Now, hold the phone, man. Please don't knee choke me for this. Check me out, okay? This right here, although it's a base 50 power move, it's fire type. It will increases your speed by 1 stage, which means that the more you use it, the faster you're going to be. And if you have a couple of boosts under your belt when it comes to Swords Dance, then Flame Charge is actually going to hit surprisingly hard too, backed up by Life Orb as well. So up next, we happen to have ourselves Darkest Lariat, which is going to be our go-to Dark-type move, a very spammable, very reliable move that hits through stat boosts. And then lastly, we have Leech Life. How the hell does this thing have access to Leech Life? This is crazy. It's a base 80 bug-type move that is a more powerful version of Giga Drain, which means that half the damage you inflict is going to be converted into health restoration, which means depending on how much damage you do, it's going to be restoring a lot of your health. And this also kind of mitigates the Life Orb recoil, which is going to make this Pokemon just exceptionally dangerous, and oh my god, it's going to be so crazy. We take a look at the stats right here. It is going to be the same sort of stat layout as the Choice Scarf set right here. I didn't mean to highlight everything. What the hell is going on here? So, we take a look at the stats right here. It's going to be the same thing. Jolly Nature, max attack, max speed. You're good to go, baby. And then the last set that I have for you guys is a custom set that I have built. This right here is going to be my go-to set when it comes to competitive, because this set was something that I spent hours, hell, no, even days of crafting ever since I seen the stats for Incineroar. I thought, and I sat hard, I was just like, you know what, I need to make a set for Incineroar that's gonna make me stand out from the rest of the pack. And I thought to myself, oh shit, I got the greatest idea in the history of great ideas when it comes to Incineroar. Check me out, baby. So we happen to have ourselves Leftovers, which at the end of every turn, the holder restores 1/16 of its maximum health, which allows for you to have a little bit of sustain. The next thing we're going to be talking about is the ability Intimidate. Lowers the opponent's attack stat by 1 stage, making this Pokemon exceptionally bulky. And we take a look at its first move. Speaking of bulk, we got Bulk Up, baby! Which increases your attack and defense stat by 1 stage. How the fuck? This thing has so much setup potential! How does this happen? Oh my god, that thing's crazy. Okay, so that right there is what's going to make this set even more dangerous. Up next, we have Flame Charge, which allows for you to rack up some speed while getting some good fire-type damage off. Of course, it's base 50 power, but the thing of it is, once you get a couple of boosts from the likes of Bulk Up, then Flame Charge is going to hit pretty damn hard. Now, the next move that we got is going to be Darkest Lariat, and Darkest Lariat is just a fucking spammable move, man. I mean, Darkest Lariat is like Incineroar's signature move, okay? And it's really, really good. Like, it hits your stat boost, like I said, for like the 50th time here in this video. And then we take a look at its last move, Leech Life. Oh, man. This set right here is what's gonna, like, this move right here is what makes this set even more broken, in my opinion. Because Leech Life, it's like I said, half the damage that is inflicted with this move gets converted into health restoration. So that means that this Pokemon is going to be having really good chance to sustain its health and staying power in battle. Like, this is just so crazy. This is so crazy. And then we take a look at its EV spread right here. I got 248 EVs onto its health, so that way it will have more Stealth Rock and more Hazard Switch-ins. 252 on its special defense, and 8 into its speed. Now, there isn't really anything else I can say about this set. I mean, this thing is meant to be as bulky can be. I mean, you take a look at the stats right there. It is going to be relatively difficult to take down on the special side. And the fact that it can easily boost up its defenses with the combination of Intimidate and Bulk Up, boosting both attack and defense. This Pokemon is going to be difficult to take down, man. Woo! And I'm so excited. I cannot wait to try this set out. But anyways, my god, ladies and gentlemen, that right there is what's going to conclude this video. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you fire off a like. Oh, jeez, I really gotta stop hitting my camera, man. Let's see if we can aim for an astronomical 20 likes. And if you want more content like this, make sure you rate, comment, share this video, and subscribe today to MegaCrasher's in the community for the best, and I mean without a shadow of a doubt, the best Pokemon Sun and Moon hype that there is today on YouTube, and just overall the best hype and entertainment that you can find right now, right here, when it comes to Pokemon content done by this crazy nut house known as MegaCrasher, because you guys don't know the deal by now, my friends. When we're community type Antonio one, you know that we shine brighter than the sun and the moon combined. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next upload.